My family went bankrupt on my 20th birthday. While reporters were still piling up at the front door, my best friend was upstairs fooling around with my boyfriend. The instant I unwrapped his gift it exploded, shredding my face. The shock was too much for Dad. He hurled himself off the company rooftop. Leo died in a rear-end crash on the way to St. Camillus Hospital. 4 years later I'm back. Whatever the cost, I will drag them all to hell. 1. My 20th birthday began with bankruptcy. I was changing in my room. Downstairs the house throbbed with music. Nanny tapped on the door. "Miss, Vance sent you a birthday present." "Bring it in," I called, too busy with my dress to inspect anything, so the boxes just stacked up. "Where's Dad?" With a lipstick wand in my hand I asked offhandedly. "Chairman is back, ma'am, mingling with the guests only the young master hasn't arrived yet." Margaret set the gifts precisely where she knew I liked them. "Fine, I'll be right down." "Oh, have you seen Future?" I swept a scarlet slash across my lips. The color felt made for tonight. Margaret loved calling Quinn Future, and I loved teasing her about it. "Wasn't he already upstairs?" "I saw him go up with Vance," she answered, puzzled. "Probably cooking up some surprise. Pretend you know nothing, all right?" I headed out, wagging the lipstick at her. "Keep it top secret." Marguerite nodded with a conspiratorial smile. I reached the staircase just as a man bent to Dad's ear. Dad's knees buckled. "Dad." His face, usually granite, was white with panic. "Vivian, the company's finished. The Zhao sold us out." He collapsed mid-sentence. "Dad. Dad." While reporters flooded the foyer, I yelled for Margaret to phone 911, then sprinted upstairs to find Quinn. I'd lent Gemma a guest room to dress. Her door stood ajar, lewd sounds drifting out. "If Jordan sees us she'll freak," a woman cooed. "She'll be lucky to be alive. The Sterlings are finished. Soon, baby, we'll be together for good." His voice rumbled, then the filthy chorus started again. My nails carved crescents into my palms, but I couldn't push the door. Back in my room I meant to grab cash for the hospital, but his gaudy present caught my eye. I almost hurled it away. Instead I tore the ribbon. The bang split the air. Blood washed my mouth, heat clawed my cheeks, flaying skin from bone. Beep beep, my bedside ventilator kept the count. I opened my eyes on a white ceiling. Margaret lunged forward. "Miss, you're awake, thank God. How's Dad?" "The company?" One arm lay cocooned in plaster, the other wouldn't lift. "Chairman jumped, miss, from the roof." Tears flooded my ears. "And Leo?" There was a crash on the interstate, on his way here." She whispered as though guilt were contagious. I rolled away. Grief felt like drowning in a dream. When reason returned, only one thing mattered: everyone who betrayed us would pay. 2. Headlines screamed, "Vance Corp crown Quinn and Vance heiress Gemma, power wedding of the century." Jordan read live chat comments aloud while I watched the feed. I smiled thinly. The curtain was about to rise. On screen the bride wore a cathedral train and a smile bright enough to ignite skyscrapers. "Pretty happy life you've had these 4 years." My reflected face smooth again stared back from the monitor. Gemma had giggled in bed with him while his gift shattered my skin. That same man, now immaculate in white, had demolished my family. I speed-dialed a number under an alias. Cue the opening act. "Gemma, today will brand itself into your memory. Enjoy your wedding present." I bribed an assistant to lure Quinn off-site, then slipped inside the reception as a rising model. While the bride changed, I found her. "Vance, a keepsake for your new husband." She beamed. "Thanks. You'll drink with us, celebrity?" "Of course." "Congratulations," I said, lips stretched sweetly. A bridesmaid burst in. "Avery, come quick, there's something in the ballroom screens." Gemma hurried after her. Giant monitors now flanked the hall, ready to loop her romantic highlight reel. But tonight the screens were rolling footage of Gemma torturing animals and cheating with a male model. I drank in the deafening, filthy soundtrack and watched her face cycle from black to green to white, savoring every second. Gemma screamed for someone to kill the power. What are you standing there for? Pull the plug. Idiots, all of you. Her furious shriek sliced through the gossiping guests. There she is on the tape, that's her. Looks so demure, but behind closed doors she's twisted. Think her groom knows? Before Gemma could choke the sound, Quinn stepped behind her. He glowered and growled, Gemma. Explain those clips. You've been sleeping with a model? Gemma blanched, speechless, just as both sets of parents arrived. Forcing a pitiful act, she whimpered, Quinn, it's fake computer edited to ruin our wedding. Don't let them blindside you. Sterling is here too? Asher's gaze swept straight to me, meaning unmistakable. Every head turned. Just came for a congratulatory drink. Cheers, Chairman, on landing such a virtuous daughter-in-law. Dream on if you think I'll be your distraction. A bride who murders cats and trades bedmates call it the Vance family appetizer. The Crown's nuptials out-glamoured every gala in Riverdale, power brokers and A-list celebrities packed the ballroom. When Quinn slid his hand around Gemma's waist and paraded her in, all eyes latched onto them. They glided, pretending poise, while whispers trailed their every step, lips open, fate uncertain. Chairman arrived last. His stare locked on me and never wavered, puzzled, scanning this unfamiliar face. Too bad, Asher Cosmetic rebirth means you'll never place the girl I was. And now the real show begins. A recording ricocheted through the hall, juicier than a World Cup final. His palm cracked across Gemma's cheek as her voice poured from the speakers. She cheated because he couldn't perform, and she'd only married him to boost her family's stock. 3-minute man who'd want that, his expression curdled. Guests buzzed and pointed, tomorrow's headlines flashed before my eyes. Father, the wedding is off. He ripped the boutonniere away, fury radiating. Quinn, listen, it's fabricated, every word, believe me. Gemma sobbed, tears streaming artfully. The marriage is cancelled, period. Morgan's tone was ice. She had always detested Gemma, her dream daughter-in-law was Jordan. The sudden rupture delighted her. You can't cancel after my daughter has already married your son. Gemma's mother shrieked. Your precious heiress, look at the filth she drags in. My boy isn't a landfill. Morgan's smile dripped venom. Like mother, like daughter. The barb-struck deep Vance had clawed her way up as a mistress. Morgan's public reminder sent her sputtering. Cancel it, Quinn barked. At that instant the supposedly dead screens flared alive again. I curved my lips, thought you'd walk away unscathed, Quinn. The photo that materialized showed him locked in an embrace with Vance. Gasps detonated. Scandal of the decade. Vance's temples bulged, he managed only USL- before crashing unconscious. Dad. Dad. Gemma screamed for medics, ordering the circuits demolished so nothing else could surface. Too late, she already regretted insisting on the oversized LED walls. Quinn, you and my mother? Gemma lifted her tear-streaked face, but he strode out without a word. Rushing to spin control? Predictable and pointless. I'd live-streamed everything and fed pre-written exposés to every outlet in town. Their damage control caravan would find the road closed. The morning after the fiasco, Morgan texted, the estate's new tea artisan had arrived, would I sample his first brew? I reread the message, a chill pricking my fingertips. Until now Morgan and I had had zero contact, officially she was simply his mother. When I reached the mansion, she stood waiting in the drawing room doorway. I greeted her politely. She studied my face and smiled. Shen, you're even lovelier than on television. I froze for a second, then looked up to see she had already turned and walked into the drawing room. I hurried after her. You don't look like some simple model at all. Auntie, you're joking, right? Joking? I'm dead serious. Do you know why I invited you today? I don't. The moment the words left my mouth, Morgan gave a cold laugh. At the reception, Gideon's eyes never once left you, and you claim you don't know? Her accusation jolted me. Did she think I was tangled up with Asher? I remember the last time he stared at a woman like that. Her name was Jeannie. Morgan's voice was dipped in ice. I wisely shut up and said nothing. That was my mother's name. She knew my mother? I'm just an ordinary model, not worth this kind of attention. I told you you're not that simple. You're the Sterling girl, his ex Jordan, aren't you? The 3 syllables exploded like thunder in my skull, my eyes burned and my nails dug into my palms. I checked you out, of course Gideon will too. I'm only a step ahead. Morgan set a cup of tea in front of me. The instant she let go she added, relax, I've already cleaned up the trail for you, they won't find your real identity. Since you know who I am, what do you want? I lifted the cup and took a small sip. After a long pause she said, now that you've walked through this door, whenever you need something you only have to ask. You hate the Vances, and I have my own grievances. Why not join forces? Morgan stood, turned to a drawer, and handed me an envelope. Inside was a letter, the paper was old, the edges yellowed. Your mother and I go way back. I said nothing. I glanced once more at Morgan sipping her tea, then turned and left the drawing room. She rose and called after me, you need me. As I stepped out the front gates I faintly heard her add, it's getting dark, looks like rain again. My answer was the hurried back of someone who couldn't get away fast enough. 6. I slipped into Vance Corporation without a hitch. That noon Morgan rushed into the office, every trace of her usual poise gone. He was still out of town on business, Gemma still in rehab, so greeting her fell to me. Morgan sank into the leather chair, exhaustion on her face and a flicker of dread in her eyes. I brought her coffee, and as I set it down I caught sight of purple bruises circling her wrist. She yanked her sleeve to hide them, her face blanching. Startled, I asked softly, Auntie, what happened to your hand? Are you hurt? She forced a smile and shook her head. It's nothing, just bumped into something. But I sensed it wasn't that simple. Looking closer I noticed faint marks on her cheek as well, the kind left by rough handling. Tears shimmered in her eyes and her fingers trembled. Clearly, someone had hit her. Auntie, are you in some kind of trouble? You can talk to me. She shook her head, gaze darting, on the verge of speaking yet swallowing the words. At last she sighed and whispered, when Gideon drinks his temper he lashes out. A chill shot through me. So Asher, so polished in public, beats his wife behind closed doors. Jordan, I owe you an apology. The sudden words were accompanied by tears sliding down her cheeks. Out of nowhere she brought up the old marriage pact between the Sterling and Vance families. If I hadn't pushed for that alliance back then, Jeannie would never have died overseas. Her voice broke. I shot to my feet. Auntie, what did you just say? I was in your mother's debt. I was pregnant, and she saved me. I am, endlessly grateful. She drew a ragged breath. Vance Corp was bleeding cash, and in desperation Asher set his sights on the Sterlings. He orchestrated your mother's death abroad. Morgan sobbed, my own tears had long since dried, and nothing more would come. I handed her tissues and gently patted her shoulder. Call me Jordan, Auntie. Jordan died years ago. Thank you for telling me the truth about my mother. The Vances will pay for this every last cent, Auntie. If the chairman ever lays a hand on you again, call the police. Endure it and it only gets worse. I sidestepped her offer and focused on her own safety. Morgan lapsed into silence. Finally she exhaled and looked at me. Jordan, I'll help you. She walked to the window, sunlight fell across her face, half in light, half in shadow. I came to ask you not to leak what happened at the wedding. The footage and audio have been scrubbed online, but guests may still have copies. She paused, as though convincing herself, then added, the Vances destroyed your family for profit, and Quinn betrayed you. Wanting revenge is only fair. Having said her piece she left in haste. After she was gone I couldn't calm down. Her last words echoed in my head, if you're willing, I can be your ally. I knew the moment had come. 7. A few days later, while he was still away, I used the key card Morgan had given me and slipped into the Vance mansion. Drizzle threaded the air like fine silver needles. I went first to the reception room to see Morgan. She had recovered yesterday's composure. She led me out to the garden, saying someone was waiting. "Aunt Morgan, you know exactly what I'm planning. Why help me?" Morgan's steps hesitated. "I'm not helping you, I'm helping myself. Gideon has turned senile with power. I can't watch the empire my father bled to build get trampled under his heel." "So you trust me that much?" I ventured. "You're formidable now, second to none," she replied, glancing back with a smile that hoarded secrets. That afternoon we met Asher among the roses. His eyes were blades of winter, radiating a chill that crawled across the skin. "So you're the new rising face Jordan?" he asked, feigning ignorance. I curved my lips. "Chairman, your reputation precedes me." I invited Jordan to lunch. "Are you heading out?" Morgan stepped between us, shielding me from his scorching stare. Asher flicked a look at her, frowned, and stalked off. Morgan pivoted. "Follow me." I obeyed. She introduced me to a woman in charcoal silk, her closest friend, an attorney. By dusk I had swallowed a vault of Vance family secrets none had ever whispered to me. Back at the office I ran into Quinn just out of a board meeting. His face was parchment and shadows. I veered close. "President Vance, long time." He froze, raking me with bloodshot eyes. "Well, if it isn't super celebrity E herself. Honor me with dinner tonight?" I tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. The honor would be mine. Hook, line, sinker. "This dinner I am already savoring it," he murmured, voice velvet and threat, and left. Inside my office a velvet box waited, diamonds breathing on black silk. No note needed. Asher's seduction style is cash on delivery. Pity I'm not on the menu. Later, Quinn kept catching me sliding out of Asher's town car. Father and son fighting over the same woman. Tabloid gold. Today the collision was inevitable. He yanked me into the nearest supply closet and slammed the door. "President Vance manners." "Why?" "I treat you like a queen and you crawl into my father's bed." His whisper cracked with fury, obsidian eyes blazed inches from mine. "Jordan, answer me." "I don't have a choice." "Do you know what it does to me, watching you step out of his car?" His fingers bit into my arms. "President Vance, we're inside corporate walls." "You want money? Power?" "I have both." "Do you, even once, feel anything for me?" "Not a flicker." I wrenched free, massaging the bruises. 3-minute man at a wedding. Some things can't be unseen. I slipped out and spotted Asher down the corridor. I milked a few shining tears and ran to him. "Chairman, your son," he cornered me. He emerged, stunned. Asher's gaze sliced over him. "Did no one teach you not to touch what isn't yours? Exile to the subsidiary now." He clasped my hand and walked me off. Over my shoulder I smirked at him, "Play with fire, get burned by daddy." Halfway down the hall Asher flung my hand away. Tears on cue. The crueler the man, the softer the woman he needs to feel omnipotent. "Chairman, I swear I didn't encourage Quinn. Know your place," he barked, and left me standing in the echo. I dried my cheeks, already scripting the next act. Men despise the thought of another male scent on their toy even if the rival is their seed. Asher knew I had been his lover, he had sanctioned it until territory lines blurred. That night Morgan drove me home in silence. At the penthouse door she finally spoke. "You provoked Quinn?" "It was Quinn who lost control. Pure coincidence. Your ex-husband saw." We both knew the difference between accident and design. In the dark I couldn't see Morgan's face, only the frost in her voice. "Seduce anyone you like except Quinn." "Why?" "He's the perfect pawn." I said no. "Afraid he'll inherit your ex's weakness?" "He is not my ex-husband's son. He is mine, future sovereign of the Lu Group. Lay a hand on him and I will bury you." I stood there, stunned. Out in the world, he had always been introduced as Asher's son by his first wife. Before I could gather my wits, Morgan walked away, her silhouette lonely against the corridor lights. Later, a veteran at the company filled me in. Asher's first wife had once been the darling of the house, yet she couldn't conceive. So she took Morgan's newborn straight from the nursery and raised him as her own. Asher told the press that Morgan's child had been stillborn. The lie drove Morgan into despair so deep she almost took her own life. Only after the first wife died did a maid finally confess the truth. One night, his penthouse went up in flames. Everything inside was reduced to ash, yet Quinn himself walked away without a scratch and moved back into the Vance mansion. Word is, Gemma lit the match. Gossip around town claims she was jealous of his relationship with me and torched the place in a fit of rage. The rumors pointed fingers at me as well, but I kept my seat high inside Vance Corporation. Truth is, who actually started the fire hardly matters. What matters is that he is now under Asher's roof, every step watched. He should have known better than to entertain dangerous thoughts. That same day, Morgan stormed into my penthouse and shattered the coffee cup against the table. Do you know what really happened to his apartment? Gideon is out to cripple him. She throttled her fury, dropped onto the sofa, and trembled with rage. Please calm down, Vance. There might still be a way. Several senior executives are unhappy with the chairman. If Quinn dares to fight his father for control. Before I could finish, Morgan pinned me with a razor-sharp stare. You're still scheming for him? No, you've been scheming from day one. You want father and son at each other's throats. Aunt Eleanor, when the snipe and the clam grapple, the fisherman doesn't always win. Sometimes the clam walks away with the prize. My answer made her freeze, then laugh bitterly. Jordan, you really are your mother's daughter, cold, precise, even I can't keep up. You flatter me. It's time we took the next step. Morgan gave a cold chuckle, stepped over the broken china, and left. At the door she looked back. Jordan, I pray that Blaze had nothing to do with you. Watching her go, I felt a chill crawl up my fingers. She had read me right. I had toyed with the idea. But set one dog on another and the kennel clears faster, doesn't it? Sure enough, Asher prepared to strip Quinn of his presidency. Yet thanks to Morgan's subtle diplomacy, a majority of the board objected. Asher exploded and fired several executives overnight. The opposition only grew louder, and he finally backed down. He stayed in the mansion, his position inside the company ironclad. After that fire, our plan could finally begin. One early winter afternoon I carried a thermos of soup to Asher's office. On my way out I ran into Quinn, the first time we'd crossed paths since that ugly scene at headquarters. I paused at the top of the staircase, unnerved by how my pulse stuttered. He spotted me too, but this time he only flicked his gaze away and kept walking. Good afternoon, Vance. He ignored the greeting and disappeared behind Asher's door. A sour ache rose in my throat. I told myself it was only the scent of the soup. A thunderous crash came from inside Asher's temper again. His tolerance for he had bottomed out. I went to check on Morgan. She sat motionless on the sofa while Nanny dabbed salve on her bruises. A purple blotch spread across her thigh like spilled ink. Vance Corp had just lost a major project. Asher blamed leaked trade secrets and fired Morgan's brother on the spot. When she begged for mercy, Asher beat her black and blue, never once reconsidering. She knew the loss wasn't big enough to justify a dismissal. Asher was simply venting on her the fury he harbored toward Quinn. Jordan, the first snowfall came early this year. Aunt Eleanor, pleading, won't bring your brother back. Why keep kneeling? If I don't, he'll turn on Hunter next. I have no choice. No choice means the question is wrong. Change the question and the problem solves itself. Don't you agree? I watched the snow swirl outside, coating the city in soft white. Morgan lapsed into silence once more. 12. Jordan stepped into the chairman's suite at the top of Vance Tower. Morgan was already there. She opened her purse, drew out a flash drive, and pressed it into my hand, her face grave. The files on this can crack Vance Corp wide open. Get Asher out of the building on Christmas Eve and you'll have your one clean chance to copy everything from his computer. I pocketed the flash drive, offered a few steadying words to the trembling woman, and turned to leave. Outside the office I collided with him, just back from a meeting. I pretended not to see him and quickened my pace. He caught my arm anyway. Asterisk. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed the video, please like and share it with friends. We look forward to your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.